Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fields here once again at Southern Virginia University for this night's women's soccer home matchup versus the Spirits of Salem College out of North Carolina. My name is Jake McMahon, joined here by Sam Horman, and it is a great day here in Buena Vista for soccer. A little bit rainy, but beautiful temperatures, and the Knights women's soccer team are out to get their first win of the season.
Absolutely. They're coming off another loss this season. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the result they wanted, but coming back strong again for another performance today. I think they tried to correct a few things. Coach Cox, she was very optimistic about moving forward, so we'll see what they bring today.
As we said, the Knights 0-3 on the season with losses away at Meredith College, at home against Bridgewater, and then away this past weekend at Ferrum College, losing 4-0. Like we said, the Knights looking to get their first win of the season, and this one is a very winnable game. The only goal scored for this season for the Knights is by senior midfielder Cora Jewell, looking to repeat here this evening with some other very potential high-octane offensive players for the Knights, such as Taylor Mercer, such as now names are slipping my mind here, Sam, such as Taylor Mercer, such as Allie Rigby, number 4 in the front. Those are the two names that come to mind for the Knights. And then Salem College on the other side, bringing a lot of offensive momentum. Absolutely.
They've had quite a few different players get involved in the attacking third. They average quite a few shots per game, so we'll see how the Knights deal with that. I think it'll be an interesting matchup as the Knights have made some defensive adjustments as well.
Like you said, Sam, lots of shots a game. Salem College 3-1 on the season, so they've played 4 games total. Recently, their most recent win against Eastern Mennonite University, winning 3-1 against, I believe, the Royals is their mascot, Eastern Mennonite, and averaging almost just under 20 shots a game, which is absolutely monstrous, with an on-goal percentage of 57%. So 79 total shots taken in 4 games, 45 of them on goal, and then notching 15 of those 45 goals, so a 33% conversion percentage from shots on goals to goals.
Absolutely. That is just the craziest stat line, especially for the Knights looking at that. That's a very impressive stat line that they're going to look to shut down. We'll go ahead and bring you the starting lineups now so we can know who's on the field. Starting for the Salem Spirits, in goal, number 00, Hannah Bullock. Number 5, Morgan Jones. Number 9, Martha Santos. Number 10, Jasmine Romero. Number 11, Sydney Priest. Number 12, Jordan Lanier. Number 16, Elisa Dankovich. Number 20, Ellie Montes. Number 21, Callie Adams. Number 24, Brooke Bukas. And number 26, Hannah Husky. And the starting lineup for your Southern Virginia Knights, starting in goal, number 0, Carmel Armstrong. Number 3, Emma Landy. Number 4, Allie Rigby. Number 8, Cora Jewell. Number 10, Clarissa Barton. Number 11, Emma Schroeder. Number 14, Ann Powell. Number 16, Airdrie Palmer. Number 20, Cyan Smith. Number 21, Kira Tolbert. And number 22, Taylor Mercer. That'll be the lineup for the Knights moving forward.
Both teams getting started here, really fighting for possession. I believe the name of the game here, Sam, is going to be offense. Who can notch the first goal? Who can gain the momentum the quickest? The Knights, in their previous home game against Bridgewater College, as we saw, for those of you who have joined us, and for those who haven't, just to recap, the Knights really put together some great offensive campaigns at the end of the first half, rather, and then at the very end of the second half. So the Knights have potential now. Coach Cox looking to take those last minute, if you will, offensive surges and then apply them really to the entire half or the entire match.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something I saw against Ferrum as well, was a really dedicated effort in the last few minutes of the game and in the first half as well. And I think where the Knights are going to struggle a little bit, they have given up about half their goals have been off of set pieces, whether a corner or a free kick. That's definitely an area that the Knights have been struggling, but also with just clearing the ball, they've had a little bit of trouble getting it across. Sometimes they'll cross it in an effort to get the ball out. Sometimes defenders get hasty and cross it across the middle of the face of the goal rather than try to get it out of bounds, out of the sideline. And that can create some danger, especially for a team like Salem that shoots as much as they do, 20 shots a game. You can't be putting balls across the center for that. So we'll see how the Knights adjust and what Coach Cox has worked on.
Knights with the ball down the field. We saw them run this exact offensive play multiple times against Bridgewater College, really sending Emma Landy down the sideline deep, passing off to Barton. Number 10, Clarissa Barton on the sideline, and then trying to get a cross in. Unsuccessful there for the Knights, but good to see them getting that play started so early in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Take advantage of what worked for you in the last game. It's good to see they recognized that early and ran it again. Not the greatest cross, but again, great to see the effort, especially this early in the game.
The Knights play out to Barton. Spirits now with the ball. Crossing for the middle. The Knights try to intercept, unable to do so. The Spirits now trying to maintain possession here as the Knights are putting on lots of offensive pressure here within the first 3 minutes of play. Knights on the sideline. Crosses over. Nice crossover. Physical play there by the Spirits. And the ball will roll out of bounds. Oh, it will roll out of bounds for a Spirits throw-in. Or rather, the assistant referee elects to give it to the Knights, and the Knights will have a throw-in. Cyan Smith over to Airdrie Palmer, who kicks the ball out of bounds now for an official Salem College throw-in. Fighting for possession is Jordan Lanier for Salem College, and really their offensive powerhouse for the Spirits, as she has notched already 5 goals this season on only 16 shots. So a very impressive, also just overall shot to goal conversion percentage for Lanier. The Knights will look to lock her down on the back line today.
Yeah, they're absolutely going to have to if they want to stay in the game. That's just a crazy good stat line. I mean, 5 goals this early in the season is, I mean, she's clearly just knows where to be, and the Knights definitely will look to shut her down and keep her probably marked pretty closely, maybe even 2 if they can. But she's done a great job so far this season.
And the Knights getting the offensive momentum started here quickly for themselves. Great looking possession there for the Knights, as it was Clarissa Barton with the shot on goal. Not much power, easily handled by goalkeeper Hannah Bullock, the freshman out of Southern Pines, North Carolina for the Spirits. And she has kicked it out. Ball finds itself at midfield. The Knights looking for possession. Cora Jewell with the ball now for the Knights. Passes it off to the sideline to Landy. Landy up the field to Barton. Back to Landy. Not sure exactly who Landy was passing to, but the Knights are maintaining possession here. Passing up the field, finding Jewell. Jewell looking to switch field. Tries to find Palmer, and the ball will roll out of bounds off the Knights. And it is number 16, Alyssa Dankovic, for the Spirits with the throw-in. Spirits with the ball in the middle of the field, looking to maybe chip the ball over the back line. Landy clearing that one out, finding the feet of Barton. Barton with space, crosses over, gets past one defender, plays up the field, looking for Rigby. And if it looks like there, Sam, if the Knights can really get past that one defender, not really keeping its line there, they're in the money.
Yeah, the Spirit electing to keep a defender really, really far back in a sweeper position, which allows the forward striker to really push the line quite far. I mean, she was about 10 yards back or more. I think the Knights can definitely take advantage of that, already trying to get it over that outside back on the left side there. I think that's definitely something that they'll try to do and that they've done well in the past, and so I definitely see them going to that already.
Knights thought it was their throw-in. Spirits instead with the throw-in. Looking up the field, finding the feet of Ellie Montez, now cleared up the field. And Landy crosses all the way over to help her back line, clears it out, and gives the Knights a little bit more time to reorganize their back line and get the midfielders back on defense. Battling for possession in the midfield. The Spirits drop back to their back line, clearing it up the field now. And cleared out by veteran defender Ann Powell for the Knights, finding the feet of Barton. Barton playing up for Taylor Mercer. Now Landy with the ball, looking for the through ball to Rigby. And Rigby has space. They're in a foot race now. And the Spirits defender will get to the ball first. The ball bounces off the broadcasting shed here, Sam. Kind of scared me a bit.
That's a great run by Rigby, though. Way to see the space, and then excellent job by the midfield to work the ball up into the space. That's a great job by the Knights, just getting the ball up just a little bit too far, a little bit too much. Allows the center back to come all the way across the field, but a good look by the Knights there.
Number 26, Hannah Husky with the throw-in. Looking up the field off the head of her teammate Landy, looking to clear it with that left foot. Knights now with the ball. Cora Jewell passing up the field, finding the feet of Airdrie Palmer. Now at the feet of Taylor Mercer. Back over to Palmer. The midfielders for the Spirits dropping back, looking to pass over the head. Good look there for the Knights, looking for Barton. And Jewel takes a ball right off the stomach. Luckily, she's okay, continuing to run. Spirits with the ball, now on a break. Looking for the through ball up the field, and it is Landy now, who seems to be everywhere within these first 8 minutes of play.
Yeah, she's done a great job shutting down, being in the right place. Definitely a smart defender, knows where to be, knows where the ball's going. Great job.
Knights now with the ball, looking for Barton up the field. Plays it nice and high. Barton with plenty of time. Looking for the cross here is Rigby in the middle of the box. Some support and beautiful defensive play there by the Spirits to get Barton off the ball. Knights now battling. That is number 11, Emma Schroeder, junior midfielder out of Draper, Utah, coming up to assist Barton. And the Knights still with possession. Dangerous run there at first. A great play, as we mentioned there, by the back line for the Spirits.
Great play there on the throw, and you can see the two closest players, number 22 and 3, move forward towards the ball, and then you saw Emma Schroeder run behind them into the space that was then created, and then you just throw it over the top of the front two. That's a great play by the Knights. Definitely something drawn up on the training grounds. Well done, Coach Cox.
Landy dropping back into space. Has time. Schroeder now with the ball. Electing to switch field to Palmer. Cyan Smith making a run up the far sideline. Smith dropping back to Palmer. Palmer looking for a player, crosses over the middle, looking for Barton. Schroeder looking to come over and regain possession for the Knights. And that is Kira Tolbert for the Knights, dropping it back to Armstrong in the goal. Landy now with the ball. Finds space. Passes over to Tolbert. And the Knights here, Sam, already doing a much better job than their last showing here at home against Bridgewater and passing the ball and slowing things down a bit.
Absolutely. They're much more controlled. They're definitely taking their time. You can see just working up the field, looking for a better pass. Even though Salem's doing a pretty good job of marking, they just find the feet of the next player. And you can see already they have some options to drop it back if they want. Knights doing a great job of playing a controlled game. You can see them work it across, players adjust, open up the space for each other. Much more controlled from the Knights. Well done.
Ball rolls out of bounds for a Knights throw-in. Landy takes the throw-in, finds Barton. Passes over to Landy once again. Landy playing up the field for Rigby. Rigby looking to play back for Jewel, unable to do so. Smith and Powell now fighting for the ball, up the field to Palmer. Palmer with a little bit of space, looking for a player. Passes over to Rigby. Rigby making a run, intercepted by the Spirits. Palmer now with it again. Jewel over to Mercer. Mercer finding Landy on the run, and Landy looks to take a deep shot or cross. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but anyway, sails out of bounds for a Spirits goal kick.
Yeah, I think she was looking for a shot on that one. It's a bold shot there. It's quite a distance out, and you really need to get a good piece of that ball and probably try to aim at far post if you can come across it, but that's a pretty difficult shot to make there, and with the wet conditions especially, the ball's not going to come off your foot exactly how you want it to, so unfortunate, but a great run by Landy to get up and open into that space.
Knights continuing with their possession, rolls out of bounds for a Spirits throw-in. Throwing up the field, and the ball will roll out of bounds once again for another Salem College throw-in. Really trying to find number 20, Ellie Montez, making the run there up the left side of your screen. Montez now with the ball, and Tolbert clears it out of bounds. Montez now with the throw-in. Elects to give it off to Lanier. And Lanier will drop it now. The assistant referee electing to give the throw-in to the Knights. And possibly a little bit of confusion here. Not sure if it's thrown, and it turns out it will be a foul on Montez, and it will be a Knights free kick rather. Landy playing it well up the field, off the head of the Spirits midfielder. Schroeder dropping it back to Landy. Over to Tolbert. Tolbert back to Landy. Landy looking for Jewel in the middle. Deflected by number 24, Brooke Bucas, the senior out of Winston-Salem. Landy battling finding Tolbert. Jewell drops back, passes it off to Powell. Powell switching field, looking for Cyan Smith. Smith now in space. Passing it long up the field. Look on the run to Airdrie Palmer. Beautiful ball, and just barely rolls out of bounds. Great look there by Smith.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to switch sides now, too. They were favoring this close side earlier, and now they're trying to expand the field and use the other side as well. That's a great job so that Salem doesn't just overcompensate and stay deep on this side. But good job switching the field there, taking their time. Pretty good tempo, and then a well-paced shot out, but just a little bit too far.
Big throw in there by the Spirits, finding the feet of Ellie Santos once again. Ellie Montez, rather, who finds herself on both sides of the field here early in this game. Salem College with a throw in once again, this time finding Lanier. Ball spending a lot of time in the air right now as both teams are vying for possession. Dankovic drops back, and the throw-in will be given to Salem College. Looks like number 21, Callie Adams, will take it, instead giving it off to Dankovic, who throws right back into Adams. Mercer with the deflection up the field. Barton making a high-pressure run on the center back. Schroeder now running over. Has a player, has Landy in the middle, loses possession here. And Tolbert comes over to support. Great job there by Tolbert. Jewell now with the ball. Husky looking to pass off for the Spirits, intercepted by Jewell. And a lot of physical possession play here in the middle of the field right now, Sam, as both teams are really trying to get a passing rhythm going.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams having a little bit of breakdown. You can see a couple players running for the same ball, and as both teams have kind of settled in, they had a pretty good opening 15 minutes there. Now you can see a little bit more pace from both teams, a little bit more aggressive, a little more adventurous as well. But yeah, you can see a lot more physical possessions too. Both teams not afraid to run into the ball.
Barton pursuing Priest, now Mercer pursuing Priest, gets possession. Schroeder now with the ball. Palmer making a call for the run, unable to connect. As the Spirits play it down the field, Lanier running over to Powell, looking to get possession back for Salem College. As the Knights find the feet of Taylor Mercer. And now the Spirits with possession once again, dropping back. And crossing well high over the center of the field. Finds the feet of Landy, passing up to Schroeder. Salem College now with possession. Dropping to their back line, Allie Rigby playing that high-pressure line, forces somewhat of a bad pass by number 21, Callie Adams, who clears the ball up the field. And that's Cyan Smith now clearing it high into the air. Barton looking to control it. And the ball deflects out of bounds for a Knights throw, and I can hear multiple players from the field yelling to settle down. The team's obviously looking to gain some offensive rhythm here, Sam.
Yeah, it looks like this style of play definitely favoring the Knights. You can see Salem College definitely caught off a little bit. They're used to substantially more shots than this in the game. They haven't really had any great attacking attempts so far, but the Knights doing a good job to keep the ball in their end. The possession stat, I'm sure, seems to be in favor of the Knights so far, but a great job to keep Salem out of their rhythm. That's what's so hard about the game, is if you let the team get into their style of play, whether it's fast or aggressive, whatever it is, that's what's really worked for Salem so far and how they get off so many shots. But the Knights doing a good job of keeping the tempo on their terms.
Free kick here for Salem College. 9 players in the screen here, 8 in the offensive third, 1 taking the free kick, which leaves only 2 down back on the back line. If the Knights can clear this out, they have a potential counterattack here. Mercer now with the ball. Mercer battling for possession, gets the ball up the field. Will it roll out of bounds? Riding that sideline, and it will roll out of bounds. Good effort there by the Knights to create a counterattack.
Yeah, that was a great job. You can see the Knights, once the ball was moved out even 10, 15 yards, you could see them just explode out of the box, get back to their position, and start covering. You really like to see that spread really fast. A lot of teams sometimes will kind of stay reserved, stay back in the box, and then wait for another attack. But that was a great job by the Knights. They moved it all the way up to 30 or the 20 on the football field. I mean, 70 yards up the field. That's a great job, a great work ethic from the team is what that shows.
Rigby now with the ball, passing off to Barton. You can see Schroeder making the run here on the close side of your screen, unable to connect or find her for the Knights. The Spirits now with the ball. Passing up the field, looking for Martha Santos, but instead finds another player on the second level, Ann Powell, now dropping back to deal with the ball. Powell over to Smith. Smith finding Kira Tolbert. Tolbert playing up the field. Finds Palmer. The Knights connecting well right now. Palmer looking to find the feet of Mercer, who is double teamed here, and Mercer will draw the foul, or commit the foul rather, for a Spirits free kick. Taking the free kick is number 11, Sydney Priest, the senior captain out of Frisco, Texas for the Spirits. She plays long down the field. And the Spirits desperately trying to create an offensive attack here. Would be their first of the game. Now into the box. Crossing the ball over the middle. And out of bounds. Armstrong elected to catch the ball. It looked like it crossed over the in line prior to Armstrong catching it, and we'll have a Knights goal kick. Smith taking the kick. Unable to connect there with Palmer on the sideline. It will roll out of bounds for a Salem College throw-in. Played off the foot of Tolbert. Mercer now with the ball, laying the ball off to Palmer. Palmer battling for possession. And we will have a foul committed by Palmer and another Salem College free kick.
Not moving quite as many players up on this one. They got 4 or 5 back. Looks like a couple more just starting to sneak up.
Ball played high and long over the middle. Looking to connect with some offensive players in the box. A collision there on the outside of the box, and it will go against the Spirits for a Knights free kick now. Luckily didn't go the other way. That would have been a borderline either direct free kick just outside of the box or penalty kick against the Knights.
Yeah, that would have been really tough for the Knights to defend, but the Knights doing a much better job on the set pieces that Salem has had so far. Doing a really good job of marking up, not allowing anything clean. That was an area they kind of struggled with against a couple teams before, but a great job of keeping enough players in and not letting anything through. Really, they've been the first to most of the set pieces.
Looking to find Palmer once again, who's unable to settle that first touch. It rolls out of bounds for a Salem College throw-in. Playing into the middle of the field, finding the feet of a fellow midfielder. Jewell for the Knights, able to create some problems there, passing over, looking for Barton on the sideline. Barton now with the ball, drops back to Landy. Landy up the field to Rigby. Rigby dropping back to Landy. Landy fighting off 2 players, splits them, finds Barton. Barton lays it off to Landy, playing up the field, and a little too far as Barton wasn't quite making that run yet. Finds the feet of Priest now for the Spirits, playing long and up the field off the head of Landy. Rigby now fighting for possession off the foot of Barton. Schroeder with the ball. Now back to Landy. Landy over to Tolbert. Now over to Powell. Powell looking for Smith. Smith with some stark pressure there from the Spirits. Powell now back to Tolbert. The Knights really working that back line right now and trying to find space and finding the side of the field that has more space in it. Palmer with the ball. Crosses over. As that is Ellie Montez who comes up and create some pressure for the Knights, who commit the foul. Now another free kick for Salem College.
That was a great string of passes by the Knights. They're definitely not afraid to drop the ball, not afraid to swing it around, keep moving forward, take their time, look for the pass. That's an element of control that I think they've not really seen too much of in games past, but a great job by the Knights. Keep possession for a couple minutes there, just swinging it around, looking for the easy pass. That's a great job by the Knights.
Salem College looking for number 9, Martha Santos in the middle of the field. Knights intercept, now playing up the field to Jewell, who loses it. Ball cleared clear down the field by the Spirits. Powell with the ball, letting it roll out of bounds for a Knights goal kick. Rather than trying to clear, it felt the pressure there of number 20, Ellie Montez, and allows it to go out of bounds for a goal kick. And we will have a couple of substitutions here for Salem College. Sounds like number 3, Kylie Dillow, will enter the game, senior midfielder out of Asheville, North Carolina. And I believe if I heard the announcer right, we had number 17 enter into the game, although we do not have a number 17 on our roster, Sam.
So it is an unknown player entering the field. We'll see how she does. She seems to be playing that left wing position on the near sideline, so we'll keep an eye on her.
Knights battling for possession. Barton with the ball currently. And foul committed by Dillow, just entering the game for Salem College. The Knights will now have a free kick right around midfield. Knights pushing all of their midfielders into the offensive third. Finds the feet of a Spirits defender there. Rigby dropping back to try to maintain possession. The ball high and in the air. Ellie Montez now on the near side of the field, saying we were really finding Montez absolutely everywhere during this game. Sometimes on the near side and multiple times on the far side.
Yeah, quite a few players getting their work in today, getting all across the field.
Schroeder with the ball. Dillow creating pressure as Schroeder just kind of kicks it out of bounds, kind of shakes her head. Looks like she might have just mistouched it slightly. Tolbert now with the ball. Clears it up the field and out of bounds for a Salem College throw-in. And it looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulty there for a second, Sam. We're back. Onto the ball, number 12, Lanier, leading goal scorer for the Spirits, throwing the ball in. Landy crossing the ball up the field, trying to find the feet of Barton once again as it rolls out of bounds. Senior captain Priest now with the throw-in. Priest looking to find number 17, the unknown player. We're not sure who she is. We'll call her 17 for now. Barton now with the ball. And we have another foul called against, or rather, it looks like it rolled out of bounds. Lanier will take the throw-in. Throwing the ball into Dillow. Marked by Jewell for the Knights. Barton now with the ball for Southern Virginia University. Jewell creating pressure. Over to Santos for the Spirits. Santos now with the ball. Santos looking for that player just 10 yards up the field. Instead, Ann Powell clears it off. Taylor Mercer now in a foot race with the back line as they clear it up the field and the ball roll out of bounds for a Knights throw-in.
Yeah, you can see again there, number 21, Callie Adams, playing that sweeper position, playing about 5-10 yards deeper than the rest of the back line. She's doing a pretty good job so far of keeping everything in front of her and shutting down, but I think the Knights definitely looking to catch her off. Already she's faded quite a bit back. It can be a risky game for a lot of teams.
Landy and Montez battling for possession down in the defensive third for the Knights. Lanier now with the ball. Tolbert with the physical tackle there, and the ball crossed into the box and into the hands of Armstrong.
Looks like it took a bit of a dangerous bounce there. That can really affect the play. I'm glad to see Carmel Armstrong getting her hands on that one early, because sometimes those can just skip right off the turf, not where you're expecting. So that's good to see.
And the foul will go against Dillow there for the Spirits, taking down Jewell for the Knights. The Knights will now have a free kick as we have a substitution for Southern Virginia University coming onto the field. Or looks like it was whistled, but instead will stay in. You cannot substitute on a free kick, rather. It has to be on a goal kick, your own corner kick, or your own throw-in. Powell now with the ball. Looking for Cyan Smith, who has some space on the sideline. And looking to play Palmer on the sideline. Smith takes a tumble and it rolls out of bounds for a Knights throw-in, who will now have a substitution. And checking onto the field for her first minutes of the game is freshman forward number 26, McCall Jensen, out of Ramsey, New Jersey. Jensen plays it back and high in the air off the feet of Rigby. Barton coming over to the middle of the field, trying but unable to reach. Jewell now to the sideline to Smith. Smith looking for Mercer, who has now slipped into that left winger position as McCall Jensen has replaced Mercer now in the middle of the field. Smith looking for a fellow Knight. Almost finds the feet of Jensen. Spirits now with the ball. Finds the feet of Santos. Back now in the midfield, finding the feet of Dillo for Salem College. Dillo with the ball, playing it up the field, looking for Lanier, unable to do so. Now it's Ellie Montez battling with Landy, and the foul will go against Montez. I almost thought it would go against Landy there for a second, as it looked like Landy was reaching around the waist, but looks like Montez might have been grabbing a little jersey prior.
Yeah, seems like might have gone with the first foul there. And the second one, I believe we will see a warning here. Looks like the ref coming up to have a word.
Montez obviously not happy with the previous call and really ran pursuit after the Knights player with the ball with the vengeance and got extra physical there. As she doesn't seem to be giving much heed to the words of the referee here.
Doesn't seem to, but it's good to see him letting her know that that's not going to be acceptable. You got to keep control of the game, especially when that's definitely retaliatory.
Landy with the free kick, passing it high and over the middle, looking for the feet of Jensen, unable to do so, passes a little too far. Barton dropping back. Barton and Montez now battling for possession. Great idea to cross back there for Barton, but a little too close to the sideline. Captain Sydney Priest for the Spirits takes the throw in, finds the feet of Lanier, dropping back to Dillo. Dillo crosses over. Nice crossover there against Schroeder, looking up the field, trying to find Santos. And miscommunication there for the Knights. Dangerous play there for the Knights as Ann Powell was trying to shield the ball off for Carmel Armstrong, who could have just picked it up, but Armstrong elects to try to kick it away, which deflects off Powell and creates a dangerous situation there, Sam.
That is a very nerve-wracking situation for a center back. You definitely want to over-communicate on that. So if you're letting it go, you could see Ann Powell turn and shield it a little bit, which, you don't want to yell that it's hers, but maybe in that situation is necessary. You kind of want to keep the attacker coming close, but in that situation, I think Ann Powell definitely needs to over-communicate on that one, because that is a very, very dangerous kick. If it ricochets at all, that can end up basically in front of the net, just in an open goal situation. So, again, Carmel Armstrong new in goal this game, and I think a little bit of communication between her and her back line is forthcoming.
The score remains 0-0 here as we enter into the last 15 minutes of the first half. 30 minutes expired, and both teams really, really trying to get this offensive momentum rolling and to mark the first goal of the game. Really, you could almost see the way this game is going, that first goal could be the deciding goal here, Sam.
It really could be. I mean, both teams definitely doing a good job of trying to get to their style, but I think the Knights have had more success, definitely kept it in their half of the field more often, and really had a better possession as well. Even though the ball isn't in the attacking third all the time, they're in control. They're not afraid to lay it off, play it back, switch field. They've been doing a great job of controlling the game. So until that control is negated, I think the Knights are looking pretty good to get the first goal of the game here.
I think you're exactly right, Sam. The Knights have certainly had much more success on the offensive side of things, which is really great, is considering the fact that, as we talked about at the beginning of the game, Salem College really used to putting about 20 shots, not necessarily on goal, but near the goal during a game, and almost averaging 4 goals a game here. So the Knights doing a great job at imposing their will on the Spirits so far in the first half hour of this game and creating a lot of offensive momentum and really keeping the Spirits out of their defensive third.
Yeah, this is not the tempo that Salem's used to. I mean, by this point, they should have at least gotten, 7 or 8 shots statistically, but haven't really had that many attacking opportunities at all. They've had a couple that resulted in a goal kick. They've had a few good runs from some strikers and a couple of long balls over the top, but really nothing too dangerous. The Knights doing a good job keeping everything in front of them, staying in control of this game, really controlling the tempo and making Salem play their game.
Finding their first minutes of the game here for the Spirits and checking in are number 8, Katie Fretwell, the junior midfielder out of Stafford, Virginia. And number 19, Amy Bounds, sophomore midfielder out of Apex, North Carolina. Looks like some tactical changes here for the Spirits, trying to find some fresh legs in the midfield and maybe create some better distribution, which they haven't had yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was that contributed in the past to some of their shot opportunities and goals, but whatever it was has not been happening today. So it looks like they're trying some tactical changes with some substitutions to turn the game into their favor. But again, the Knights doing a great job controlling here, working the ball down into the field, down into the corner.
Landy now with the ball here on the near side of your screen in the corner. Montez shielding Landy off and maybe creating a little bit of too much of a block. It looks like the referee was signaling that Montez was putting her hands back to shield, which is not permitted, and the foul will go against Salem College as the Knights now have a free kick here on the near sideline just outside of the box. And the Knights with their first real chance here inside of the 18-yard box.
Really smart play by Landy there, doing the universal "I'm not doing anything" sign by putting her hands up, making the other hands of the defender obvious on her. That's a great job.
Mercer with the ball into the middle. Lots of deflections there in what looked like a mob straight in front of the goal, and it ends up bouncing around and into the hands of freshman goalkeeper Hannah Bullock for the Spirits' first real opportunity there for the Knights.
That's a great job by the Knights. Good cross in, just in the position where the goalie doesn't want to come off her line. You can see she stayed back, but the Knights definitely pushed forward almost to the 6-yard box, about 8 yards. Great job with a great steal there. Wonderful. Oh, the cross just a little bit ahead of where she wanted that, but if that was 2 yards back, that results in a great shot on goal.
And it looks like some miscommunication of their own for Salem College there in the box. It was number 21, Callie Adams, dropping back to deal with that long deflection into the Spirits' 18-yard box, looking as if she was shielding it for Hannah Bullock to come grab it with her hands, but Bullock decides to stay in the goal, and it's Barton coming in and creating problems for Salem College. The Knights still with possession in their offensive third, played high in the air looking for Mercer. Rigby now with the ball. Rigby crossing over, and almost finds the feet of Mercer, but instead finds the feet of Salem College on the back line, clearing it up. And Powell now with the ball. And off the feet of Rigby again, which rolls harmlessly into the hands of Bullock.
Yeah, I think that was not quite on the ground yet, a little out of control. And Powell trying to get it to the feet, but the ball is bouncing just a little bit. So the striker's not quite ready for that one. It's a tough ball to shield.
Barton now with the ball. Plenty of time and space. Looking for Landy. Drops it back to Barton. Little triangle passing clinic going on here by the Knights. Barton drops back to Tolbert. Crosses over to Ann Powell. Back to Tolbert. As Montez is sitting there lurking, Tolbert doing a great job of getting a foot on the ball and not allowing Montez to steal it. Barton playing up the field now. Looking for number 24 for the Knights, getting her first minutes. Kylie Auger, freshman midfield out of Holiday, Utah.
Yeah, it looked like she felt a little bit of pressure on that one that just wasn't there. She'd have let that go. She's got quite a few yards down in the corner, but unfortunate.
Tolbert looking for a fellow Knight. Elects to pull back and drop back to Landy. Now over to Powell. Powell crosses it high and in the air, looking for Mercer. Jensen now battling with the ball. Barton coming over to support. Barton crosses over, deflected back by the Spirits, but still in possession of the Knights. Barton with space up the field, now crossing over multiple Spirits, showing some good footwork, but unable to connect on the cross. As it's Smith running down the field and committing the foul against Salem College. That is number 16, Alyssa Denkovich, taking the free kick for the Spirits. Now under 9 minutes of play here left in the first half of this home matchup between Southern Virginia Knights and the Spirits of Salem College. The score remains 0-0. Both teams desperately looking for their first goal of the game, but the Knights certainly with the upper hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see Salem getting a little bit out of their style, a little uncomfortable. You see at the start of the game on that almost exact same free kick, but from the other side, they had 9 players up the field. They had all of their team in the box, and then slowly they've actually worked to the point where they didn't even set anything up on that last free kick. They basically just took it immediately as players are running in. They had 9 at the start. Then they had 7 or so, and then progressively they've just worked down to just trying to get anything into the box, which doesn't seem to have been their style in previous games. So the Knights definitely controlling this game. You can see all over the field, you see their players moving all over. Knights really, really keeping this game on their own terms. Good to see at home.
Off the chest of Barton, plays back to Auger, who plays up the field looking for Mercer. Jewell comes in with the nice 50-50 header. Auger now battling with the ball. Jewell now up. And Jewell playing Barton on the run. Finds Barton on the run. Plays it a little too far out in front of herself, as it's number 21, Callie Adams, clearing that out there for the Spirits. And had Barton maybe not played that ball too far in front of her, we might have had our first really, really dangerous shot on goal and potential goal for the Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little bit too far. She's kicking herself for that one. That's a beautiful opportunity, but a great run. Great job getting into space, getting around the outside back, and then coming into the center hard. If they can get another player into the box even to just create a little more pressure so the defender has to kind of split, then she feels a little more comfortable taking that shot too. Seemed like she was a little bit rushed and definitely a little bit too much power, but good job, great run down the side.
Jensen playing a lot more physically than maybe we saw her play a bit against Bridgewater College. Nice to see as she's creating some trouble and some offensive pressure there for the Knights. Tolbert with the ball. Dillo for the Spirits takes it away. And Salem College will kick that ball out of bounds for a Knights throw-in. Smith with the throw-in, playing Taylor Mercer there on the sideline. Dankovich clears it up the field. Auger with the ball now for the Knights. Smith playing up to Mercer, and it looks like the ball will have rolled out of bounds. Still in possession of the Knights. Cyan Smith throw-in, looking for Rigby. Deflects off the foot of Rigby. Spirits clearing it up the field, looking for the long ball and still playing it out of bounds. Really struggling to put together some offensive momentum here.
Yeah, every time they get the ball, they're just kicking it up about 10 yards and it goes right out of bounds. The Knights start back over.
Barton dropping back to create some support, but now the Spirits playing up the field, looking for Ellie Montez. Sticking that arm out, trying to create some separation between her and Landy. Great tackle there by Landy. Montez still with the ball. Dillo now with it. Looking to play up the field, but instead finds the feet of Kira Tolbert. Montez looking to create some pressure. Now in space is Landy. Landy plays over to Mercer. Mercer now over to Barton. Back to Mercer. Mercer plays over to Landy, who is looking up to pass the ball before it even gets to her foot and whiffs at it a little bit. And the Spirits now with a throw it.
She was just so comfortable passing there. She didn't even want to look at that one, which unfortunately meant she did miss it a little bit, but great possession there. You could see the shape was there, the form was there, and they just moved it up 10, 20 yards, nice and easy. Take a few seconds, and then got a little too comfortable, but she knows.
Just under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. The Knights with another substitution, getting her first minutes of the game is senior midfielder number 6, Shirley Morales-Yan, out of Orem, Utah. Good passer there for the Knights. Hopefully can create some last-minute distribution here for Southern Virginia University prior to the end of this first half, as the Knights looking to get their first goal of the game, second overall of the season. Ball played down the field. Morales-Yan drops back to give some assistance. And the foul will go against Morales-Yan, who gives a little bit of a shove in the back there against number 17, who picks it up, immediately catches Armstrong off of her line a little bit and takes that direct free kick, trying to catch Armstrong just out a little too far in front of the goal.
Yeah, that's really smart. Normally what you want to see there is after the foul's committed, you have someone just stand right in front of the ball so that they can't do that, because a lot of times the goalie will step off a little bit, set the wall, adjust them, move them, but the Knights stepping back quickly, which is good sportsmanship, but sometimes you do want to stay a little bit in front of the ball, just make sure they don't give that up. Luckily, nothing too dangerous off of it.
Salem College now with their first corner kick of the game, crosses it in and out of bounds harmlessly for a Knights goal kick.
Entering the game for the Knights, number 5, Alyssa Winterton.
The Knights will have another substitution here. as we come to the last 3 minutes of this half. Number 5, Alyssa Winterton, the junior defender out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Ball played high up the field, looking for Auger. It's now Priest with the ball, who's playing it up the field, looking for number 17 for the Spirits with some speed, running up the field. But the Knights able to handle it, and looks like it will roll out of bounds. The assistant referee puts up the flag and indicates a Spirits throw-in. Cleared up the field now to the Spirits back line. Cyan Smith creating some high pressure there. Salem College now putting together a nice string of passes here. Santos to the feet of Dillo. Beautiful through ball now to number 12, Lanier, or number 17 rather. We're not sure exactly who number 17 is, but the real first dangerous offensive possession there for Salem College, as the shot off the left foot of number 17 sails just off that upper left 90.
Very dangerous run, though. She was in the right space, and even though we don't know her name, she has made her presence known.
And Dillo showing the nice distribution there with the beautiful through ball, splitting the Knights back line. Goal kick for the Knights. Played up the field looking for Auger. Dillo now playing up the field looking for number 17 once again. Spirits with the ball. Knights trying to create some high pressure once again. The Spirits able to deal with it pretty handily. Now clearing the ball high and up the field, looking for number 15, Hope Morrison. The Knights throw it out of bounds off the throw-in. We have 1 minute remaining here in the first half. Score remains 0-0. Both teams going to look to put together some really last-minute quick counters here. Katie Fretwell with the ball, looking over to number 17. We do have another stat roster that you just pointed out to me, Sam. It looks like number 17 might be Mary Ormsby, who on our roster is listed as number 6. So we have a little bit of conflicting information there. But for now, we can maybe be a little more confident that it's Mary Ormsby, the sophomore forward out of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Definitely sounds better than number 17 as well. So
it does.
We'll
We'd like to
refer
call
her
her
for
by
that.
her name.
It would be nice.
Only 15 seconds remaining here in the first half. Powell with the throw-in. Looking up the field, throwing high and long. Looking for Morales Yan. As the ball will bounce around, and it looks like we will have the end of the first half here. Had that little collision there at the end of the first half taken place maybe a few seconds earlier, we might have been looking at another direct free kick there for Salem College prior to the end of the first half. But nonetheless, time will expire, and the score remains 0-0 here at Southern Virginia University.
Great half from both teams, though. You can see the Knights definitely taking their style. You haven't seen some of this play from the Knights in the past. They've been a little bit hesitant to drop the ball. They've had good runs down the side, but they've really, really favored one side. And even though they have done really well on this close sideline, I think Landy and Barton really doing a great job up and down the line, all over the field for the most part. But they've also utilized the far sideline, which forces Salem to not just keep their defenders on this half. You can see they're playing that deep line, Salem. And I think the Knights definitely are going to address that, look to take advantage of that in the second half, but really done a great job to keep Salem out of their game. It's been the Knights' game this entire half, so I think Coach Cox may have a couple things to correct, really a couple things to talk about that's mostly just good things, but we'll see how they address things at halftime.
And you do have to say that Salem College did put together a little bit more offensive momentum there towards the end of the half, getting a couple more opportunities with the corner kick and almost really looking to get cheeky with Carmel Armstrong there on the direct free kick, trying to catch her off of her line. And then the beautiful through ball there by Dillo, finding the feet of who we think might be Mary Ormsby. We'll confirm that over halftime with the Salem College coach. But the Knights will have to be equally diligent in the second half to continue that offensive pressure and not allow Salem College to get back on their game that they're so used to in the first four.
Yeah, absolutely. They cannot allow more attacks. We definitely see Salem takes advantage of what they're given. So the Knights doing a good job so far, and definitely looking to continue the trend in the second half.
So the Knights looking for their first win of the season here at home against Salem College. It is halftime. The score remains 0-0, and we will come back to you in about 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the fields here at Southern Virginia University as we prepare for the second half of play here in Knights women's soccer. They are taking on the Spirits of Salem College. The score remains 0-0 as the Knights look to find their first home win, or win in general, of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. During halftime, you could definitely see a couple different strategies going on. I think Salem's discussion was a little more upbeat, up-tempo, I think, aggressive. The Knights definitely realizing that they did quite a few things pretty well that half. So Coach Cox really having a pretty short discussion with the team, talking about a couple things, a few things to fix here and there, but then they were breaking out, warming up again. Had a few minutes even, but Salem electing to use most of their time because they have not really had a lot of success as far as they're concerned in getting shots. Really only had 2 shots the entire half and not capitalizing on a lot of opportunities. The Knights pretty comfortable with the way that they played. Although it didn't result in too many shots, only 3, they really controlled the game. That's what's hard to tell about soccer. Sometimes the stat line doesn't necessarily show everything. But the Knights definitely in control of the first half. You can see Salem come back with about 10 or 5 minutes left, get a few more opportunities. But we'll see how the second half starts out here.
You're exactly right, Sam. Just as we mentioned at the beginning of this match, Salem College used to shooting the ball around 20 times a game and scoring almost 4 goals a game. And so the Knights have really gotten the Spirits off their game here in the first half of play. As we mentioned, the Spirits did gain a little bit of offensive momentum here in the second half, so the Knights will have to be diligent in making sure that Salem doesn't get back into that strategy that they're so used to, and that the Knights continue to play their game and impose their will.
The Salem electing to do an interesting thing there. That was actually a kickoff for a football game, what you just saw. We run the same thing, but with more players. You just stack down the line and try to get it to someone. But Salem definitely looking to come out strong here. You can tell from the immediate kickoff, having 5 players up on the line and running down. That's really not that far off from my kickoff team, to be honest. But we don't play till Saturday, so maybe they're just getting a preemptive start.
And we did go ahead and confirm at halftime, number 17 is Mary Ormsby. As she checked into the game in the first half, our rosters didn't initially have a number 17 on it. Mary Ormsby was listed as number 6, but for those watching the game, she is number 17 in this match against Southern Virginia University. The Spirits now with the ball looking to create some possession here right in front of the box in the center of the field. Montez looking to control the ball, unable to do so. The Knights now battling for possession, as Santos now playing a little bit shiftily against Airdrie Palmer. Santos playing up the field. Cyan Smith deflects it. Palmer now with the ball. Crosses over to Cora Jewell. Jewell looking to find space. Crosses over. Able to maintain possession as the Knights. Mercer and Jewell now double teaming Santos.
A lot of kicking going on, not much movement.
And Santos comes out with it. This is Auger with the ball. Auger dropping back to Powell. Powell playing up the field to Palmer. Santos putting pressure on Palmer. Palmer able to maintain possession. Palmer looking to find Smith, able to do so, who clears across the field, finding Jewell. Jewell collides with Dillo, or rather number 11, Sydney Priest, the senior captain for the Spirits. Smith crosses over now to Morales Jan, who gets the start for the second half, playing up the field now to Barton. And Salem College playing on the wing now to Ellie Montez. Montez one-on-one with Tolbert, crosses over, plays up the field looking for the feet of Lanier, the leading goal scorer for the Spirits, but that rolls into the hands of Carmel Armstrong, who throws it out. And just within the first 3 minutes of play here, Sam, Salem College coming off with the offensive momentum.
Yeah, that was definitely the discussion at halftime, was they need to create more opportunities. I think they've done a good job of adjusting into that. You can see already they've pushed a ton more players up. You can see them just running all over the place, trying to get the ball back. Doing a good job. It looks like they have made a few line adjustments with some substitutions, and definitely taking advantage of their attacking opportunities so far.
And certainly a no-doubter there on the foul call by the referees. That is Cyan Smith knocking Santos over on the 20-yard line of the football field, about 35 yards out from the goal. Taking the free kick is number 16, Alyssa Dankovic, for the Spirits. We'll see if she elects to take a shot on goal here or crosses it into the box. And she'll go directly to goal, low, looking for that far post. And Hardy able to lay down and deflect the ball out of bounds for a Spirits corner kick that will be their second of the game.
It's an interesting tactic there to go away and low. I think maybe hoping for a deflection to come off with all the players crashing in. I think that was the opportunistic thing. Obviously on frame, looked like Carmel doing a good job of pushing that out. Going for a corner kick here.
Here comes the corner kick for the Spirits, high and into the middle of the box, looking for the feet of Husky, number 26 for the Spirits. Mishits it a little bit. Morales Jan clears it out, and that will go out of bounds for another Salem College corner kick. This will be their third of the game. Lining up most of their players on the far corner of the box. We have Priest, Montez, Lanier running in high and over the middle, and it's deflected off multiple players out of bounds, and the referee will elect to give the ball to the Knights for a goal kick, and the Knights get out of a potentially dangerous situation there.
Which is a good job. That was definitely a design play by Salem there. You can see just staggered runs. First player runs to the nearest post and then into the middle, PK, and then the far post. Doing a good job of just spacing out, trying to guess where the ball is going to be. It looked like they didn't put it in quite where they wanted, but the Knights defended well, really keeping the ball in front of them, even though it wasn't exactly cleared out right off, but good job of not letting anything through.
Knights trying to move the ball into their offensive third, unable to do so as the Spirits play the long ball high over the middle, putting in lots of pressure. Tolbert just clearing the ball out desperately, and that will roll out of bounds for another Salem College corner kick, as it was Ellie Montez and number 12, Jordan Lanier, putting on some really high pressure as Tolbert had no other choice but to just clear that ball down the end line.
There's only one corner kick in the first half, and already we've had 3 in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
And out to take the corner kick for the Spirits is number 16, Alyssa Dankovic. Dankovic running up high and in the air once again, deflects off the head of Tolbert. And Powell will clear that out of danger for the Knights as they get out of another potentially dangerous situation. Rigby trying to create some high pressure. The Spirits with the ball once again. And we have a offside call against Salem College, the first offside call of the match.
But again, great job. The Knights definitely just exploding out on those, getting the line high again, and allowing that offsides to be called. Great job of pushing up quickly.
Switching field, looking for Palmer. Beautiful ball. Great idea. Palmer playing high in the air, looking for Smith. Probably had a little more time to settle it and play it on the ground, electing not to do so as the ball runs out of bounds for a Spirits throw-in.
Yeah, it looked like she felt a little bit under pressure, even though she had much more time than she realized. Again, I think a communication issue with the Knights there. Got to just let each other know how much time they have. You could see earlier some of the back line having a tough time communicating with the goalie as well, but communication probably could be up just a little bit, would help out the Knights.
Schroeder was showing some beautiful footwork there, trying to play Palmer on the sideline, rolls out of bounds for a Spirits throw-in, who now have the ball, playing the feet of Jordan Lanier as Powell comes in and deflects that one away. Rigby now with the ball, over to Jewell. Jewell playing high, looking for Barton on the sideline, and as Sydney Priest clears that out with her head, Barton still with the ball, finds the feet of Jewell. Jewell crossing over, gets knocked to the ground, no call from the referee. Spirits now with the ball, and Jewell not happy with the call and puts on some pretty heavy pressure against Martha Santos there and gets the call against herself. Prior to this free kick, we'll remind you, those who are viewing with us right now on SVU Watch It on YouTube, that tonight's match is the first of 2 here at the fields at Southern Virginia University. Following this women's matchup against Salem College, the men's Knights soccer team will take the field against number 9th ranked nationally Washington and Lee University, a local rival for the Knights, and from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. The Knights will take the field looking for their second win of the season following a good outing this past weekend against Christendom.
Yeah, always a contest against Washington and Lee. The two teams definitely some aggressive feelings between them. Ooh.
And a beautiful tip there by Carmel Armstrong as the ball is lobbed off the head of the Salem College forward, and Armstrong with the great heads-up play there, just tipping it over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's just a smart play. You can't do a whole lot. Sometimes goalies will try to get both hands up and come down with it, and they'll come down right on the head of whoever is in front of them, and then it can end up in the back of the net. Good job just tipping it over the crossbar, playing it safe, electing to give your defense a shot to get this corner out.
Dankovic with the throw, with the cross rather, and it comes off of the head. Comes off of the head of what looks like number 15, Hope Morrison, and almost finds the bottom right corner of the goal, but rolls out of bounds. Dangerous header there by Salem College as we have a goal kick now for the night. Cyan Smith taking it. And we have a little stoppage in time here.
Looks as if Cora Jewell seems to have had something on her uniform that the ref wasn't allowed to have her continue play. I think maybe in one of her collisions there may have been a cut or something. It looked like some blood on her shorts. And looks like we'll have a substitution come on for her while she takes care of that.
And checking in for the Knights in the place of senior midfielder Cora Jewell is number 24, Kylie Auger, seeing her second entrance into the game today. The Knights looking to control this offensive pressure being put on by the Spirits here early in the second half and create some offensive momentum like unto the success they had in the first half despite not being able to score a goal. Ball played up the field looking for Ellie Montez. Cyan Smith now with the ball. Clears it up the field to Rigby. Rigby now with it. Looking for Palmer on the sideline, but pressure created quickly by Husky. Off the head of Smith. Palmer fighting for it. Rigby now with the ball. Palmer shielding off Husky. Mercer now with it. Palmer looking to switch fields. Finds the feet of Barton. Barton with the pressure on her back. Barton crossing over. Able to maintain possession. Almost loses it there. Now it's Auger with the ball. Plays over to Morales-Yan. Morales-Yan with the left-footed cross over the middle. Looked like for Rigby, but plays it a little too far. And the Spirits now with the ball. Jordan Lanier unable to control it. Plays out for number 24 there, Brooke Bucas. And the Spirits now have a throw-in. Off the head of Morales-Yan. Dangerous. And a lucky deflection there for Salem College as Kira Tolbert tried to deflect that out of bounds, which would have been a Salem College throw-in. But instead deflects off the back of Bucas, and Salem College will have another corner kick. Oh, rather, it looks like it will be a goal kick.
Knights doing a good job of keeping the control here. Making some good passes up the field. Again, that deep line of Salem College doing a good job so far, keeping the Knights in front of them. A little bit too deep, ends up in the goalie's hands. A very high kick, but also very short, really only about 15 yards. The Knights look to come down with it, doing a good job. Trying to get it settled here.
Auger fighting for possession, instead finds the feet of Martha Santos, who takes the spill, and Powell clears it up the field high and into the air. Off the head of Morales-Yan. Palmer now with the ball. Plays off to Auger. Cyan Smith now with it. Plays up the field looking for Rigby, but plays it a little too far, and it will roll into the hands of freshman goalkeeper Hannah Bullock.
Yeah, the Knights definitely not going to get that long ball over the top with the deep defense of Salem College there. That's not something they're going to be able to get there. I think they should elect to play the game they did in the first half and keep it short.
And the ball roll out of bounds for a corner kick, as it was Ann Powell who deflected that out of bounds past the inline. And now entering the game is the mysterious number 17 for Salem College, who is not so mysterious anymore, Mary Ormsby, entering the game for the first time here in the second half, as the Spirits set up for their 6th corner kick now of the game, entering the second half with only 1 corner kick, now having had 5 in just less than 15 minutes of play. And this is where the Knights got into trouble against Bridgewater College in their last home match. For those of you who joined us, Bridgewater College earned themselves 10 corner kicks on the game, and eventually the ball found the back of the net and the Knights fell by a goal. The Knights going to have to do a good job at making sure that they don't have a repeat mistake in allowing too many corner kicks.
Yeah, and definitely on that last one, you could see, even though they had got a pretty good cross in, doing a good job of staying aggressive and staying on the ball, you can see a great, pretty bold jump in front of the ball there to keep it from crossing back in, and now it's resulted in a pretty good attack for them here as they work up the field.
Barton with the ball. Crosses over, beautiful crossover, and shoots the ball with the right foot, looking for the far post, and it rolls out of bounds just wide of that left post. Dangerous shot there by Clarissa Barton for the Knights.
That's a great job. I think she could tell that there wasn't a whole lot building. There wasn't a whole lot of support coming, just electing to take the shot. Pretty good angle, really tough for the goalie. Putting it on that far post especially, had that have been a foot or two in, could have just come off the post and gone in. Really good, a good attempt there by the Knights. And recognizing she didn't have a whole lot of options, and so she just put it on frame as best she could.
That ball deflects off of the head of Kira Tolbert. She seems to be fine. The foul will go against Tolbert, however, and Salem College will have another free kick. Playing high up the field, looking for Lanier, who gets a pretty big shove off there of Kira Tolbert. You can hear the fans in the stadium calling for the foul, but unable to get it. As the cross comes in, I'm not sure if it was an intended cross or shot there, but Carmel Armstrong getting out of a dangerous situation there as the ball runs out of bounds. Almost looked like it was in the back of the net.
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be a shot, I believe. Maybe the original intent could have been a cross, but it ended up being a shot. And I think Carmel Armstrong in the same position we were of deciding was that a shot or a cross, and doing a good job. Just tip it over again, play it safe.
Beautiful save there by Carmel Hardy, or Armstrong. She's now married, so she is an Armstrong, but a dangerous header there for Salem College as she lays out and puts that out of bounds for yet another Salem College corner kick, but better a corner kick than a goal, Sam.
Brilliant dive there. Way to just push it out just a little bit. That was all she needed. Did a good job.
And it is deja vu here for the Knights at home, at the fields at Southern Virginia University. Very similar occurrence to what happened against Bridgewater College in their last home appearance. The Knights giving up 10 corner kicks to the Eagles of Bridgewater College and eventually a goal by header in the box, and the Knights now falling by the same way here again. Salem College with 8 or 9 corner kicks here, and it was just a matter of time.
Yeah, you can't give up 7 corner kicks in the first 15 minutes of a half and not expect to get scored on. That's asking too much from your defense. You're really struggling, so it's unfortunate to see a great execution there by Salem. But again, the Knights definitely allowing far too many corner kicks, allowing the ball much deeper into the defensive third than they did most of the first half. They were pretty controlled, did a pretty good job of, even though the ball may have been deep, they were in control of the game. They were still passing it around. But giving up 7 corners, that's a risky game. Too many opportunities for Salem to put one in, and 2 in a row, just back-to-back there. A great job by Carmel Armstrong to push the first one out, but it was already getting close. You could tell knocking on the door and then just putting that one in. I think the Knights defense just breaking down a little bit, maybe too many corners, and one was bound to go in. So, again, just like against Bridgewater, unfortunate to see, but we'll see how the Knights bounce back here.
Tolbert dropping back to Armstrong. Armstrong clearing it up the field, finding the head of Winterton. She falls to the feet of Jordan Lanier. Cyan Smith now with the ball for the Knights. Finds Rigby, unable to control the touch. Both teams battling for possession. Plays high in the air over the back line of the Knights. Lanier now with the ball. The Knights going to have to do a good job at making sure that Salem College doesn't just pour it on here now, Sam. And the ball will roll out of bounds for a Knights throw-in.
Yeah, that would be the thing you don't want to see is if you do get scored on, you don't want to see the team break down. You don't want to see the style of play change. You want to basically continue in what you were doing before. A lot of teams will come up with some sort of motto or mantra to keep the mental aspect of as if the game was as it was before. I know that's something my high school team would do. After every goal, we'd say 0-0. Whether we scored it, they scored, as if the game was just a new game. You don't want to see the style play. You don't want to see the Knights hang their head. You don't want to see anything change with the way they were doing it. Really, they have had a pretty good possession. They've done a good job of passing around. But you definitely don't want to see that change after the first goal.
Knights with the goal kick. Mercer fighting for possession there as the ball rolls out of bounds for a Salem College throw-in, or rather, it looks like it's going to be a foul against the Knights. Free kick for Salem College, taken by senior captain Sydney Priest. High in the air, up the field. Morales-Yan trying to clear it out. Hits it a little bit as the ball rolls almost. It will roll out of bounds for another Knights goal kick.
Entering the game for the Spirit, number 20, Ellie Montez.
Montez for Salem College, re-entering the game. Very physical player, a lot of pace, pretty good speed. Certainly a tactical change for the Spirit in the front, on the front line.
Which is where I believe most of their tactical changes have gone into effect. They've made a few substitutions in the mid, mostly kept the defense the same, but the strikers, the front three, it seems, definitely shifting around to give the Knights some different looks against their defensive line.
Beautiful through ball here by Montez. Spirit now trying to cross the ball. No help in the box, and the ball will deflect off the Knights' back line and out of bounds for the 9th corner kick of the game for Salem College.
Not what you want to see if you're the Knights. They've definitely struggled against this. You want to see them mark up early here. You want to see a little more communication. Someone needs to take command and make sure that everybody's marked up. You can see a little bit of confusion, but I like to see the pointing, the talking. You want to hear them let each other know who they've got so no one's free.
Ball high in the air off the head of the front line by Salem College. Once again, we will have a foul call by the head referee against the Spirits. And the Knights now with the free kick inside of the box.
Looks like it might have even been an offsides call there.
Free kick taken by Cyan Smith. Rigby now with the ball. Pulled down by Husky for Salem College, and the Knights will have a free kick. Free kick will be taken by Ann Powell, taken quickly over to Cyan Smith, who plays up the field, looking for Airdrie Palmer for the Knights. The ball will roll out of bounds. And it is Alyssa Dankovic now with the ball. Dankovic passing high up the field, looking for the run, going up the middle through the back door by Mary Ormsby. The Knights now with the ball. Winterton trying to decide who's she going to pass the ball to. Passes to Rigby. Now back to Winterton. Winterton looking for Palmer. Palmer passing over to Auger. And Winterton trying to find Barton there on the far side of the screen. As it falls into the possession of the Spirits once again. Long ball down the field. Looking to make a run. Kira Tolbert clearing it up the field. Auger now clearing it off the sideline for another Salem College throw-in.
Number 9, Martha Santos. For your Knights, number 8, Cora Jewell.
And senior midfielder Cora Jewell for the Knights will re-enter the game. Looks like she's been taken care of by the trainer. As well as number 9, Martha Santos for Salem College. Morales-Yan dropping back, just clearing the ball out of bounds for a Salem College throw, and we will have another substitution.
Game for the Spirit. Number 12, Jordan Lanier. And number 19, Amy Bounds.
And two more substitutions for the Spirits. Number 19, Amy Bounds, and leading goal scorer for Salem College, number 12, Jordan Lanier up front. Lanier taking the throw and looking for Ormsby. Ball deflected in the middle. Powell trying to clear it out. Now Jewel clearing it out. Barton with the ball at her feet, trying to get it up the field. Unable to do so as the Spirits regain possession, and taking the right-footed shot falls harmlessly wide of the left side of the goal, out for a Knights goal kick.
Yeah, it looks like based off the substitution pattern, Salem not looking to slow down anytime soon, putting on some their biggest goal scorer and moving more people into the mid and the strikers' positions, and fresh legs in that area definitely help, especially with a back line of Southern Virginia that's really made a lot of motion, had done really well in the first half, and I think maybe slowed down just a little bit here in the second half.
Salem College certainly knows as well as anybody, Sam, that in having seen the Knights' offensive potential there in the first half, that the Knights could just as easily turn the tables here and put in a goal of their own. So, as you said, certainly not looking to take their foot off the gas and trying to get more goals. Salem College playing it high and up the field, looking for Mary Ormsby. Montez now with the ball with a little bit of space, crosses over, tries to take the right-footed shot as it's Ann Powell who comes in and makes the beautiful tackle to take away the shot from Montez.
It was a great job of just stepping over, realizing that the outside back was still up the field and the other center back had been a little bit beaten down the line. Good job to just come in strong. You definitely have to end that. Can't allow her to get the shot off that close.
Jewel running up the field now in a foot race with Salem College, clears it up the field. Cyan Smith calling off Winterton, takes the ball. Rigby now with it, drops back to Winterton. Winterton with a little bit of time, and it deflects off of the foot of Dankovich for Salem College and out of bounds for a Knights throw-in.
A little bit lucky there by the Knights, but they'll take the throw-in nonetheless.
And starter of the game, number 3, defender Emma Landy takes the field for the Knights with some fresh legs, now entering the game for the last 20 minutes of play. And it looks like we might have had a handball there against Alyssa Winterton, which you hate to see in that offensive third, really taking away the potential threat as Salem College now has a free kick.
Yeah, it looked like it just bounced up into her arm. Kind of unfortunate, but have to call that.
Jewel trying to find Barton, but instead cleared up the field by Salem College. Lanier battling with Ann Powell. Maybe a little bit of a shove in the back of Powell there, as she will draw the foul and give the Knights a free kick, foul against the Spirits.
Looks like the Knights trying to play it short here, not really having anyone. Might have to just play the long ball now.
Looking to play Cyan Smith. Ball played out of bounds by Mary Ormsby. And the Knights now with a throw-in. Looks like we have a little bit of a fiasco with balls there on the side on the sideline. I think I saw both of the balls cross the screen at least twice.
I think so. The crowd definitely enjoying that.
Maybe a few olays from the crowd as the balls cross the screen. Finally back into play. Spirits with the ball. Dillo playing it high and in the air, looking for Montez. Off the head of Landy. Montez now with the ball, looking for Santos. Santos with the ball, and she will be called offside by the assistant referee, and the Knights will have a free kick. Landy approaching the ball, plays the ball high in the air. Looking for Mercer for the Knights. Deflected by Mercer, the Spirits maintain possession. Ormsby plays back to Dillo. Winterton battling for possession, and a collision there between Cora Jewell and Dillo for Salem College. Dillo slow to get up, but looks like she'll be able to shake it off and continue playing. Now she has a word with the referee.
A little bit of frustration there, I think. Definitely not happy with the call. We haven't seen any cards yet, even though there has been quite a bit of physical play on both teams. But quite a few fouls by both teams as well. In the first half alone, each team had 6.
And it looks like the ball will have been deflected off of Salem College. Salem College looking for a handball call against the Knights, but not going to get it as the Knights have a free kick.
Yeah, the ref electing to play the high kick there, I think, rather than...
And we will have another foul here against the Knights as the game getting more physical by the minute here, Sam. Now Salem College with a direct free kick not far outside of the box.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't a lack of physicality already, but both teams getting a little more active. This is a dangerous area. You can either cross it in. Last time they tried to go on the near or on the far post, but low. Looks like the wall will be set up to protect the near post.
Dankovic coming in. Takes the shot high over the head of Carmel Armstrong, and into the goal. Looks like Armstrong came a little too far out of the goal, and Dankovic places it perfectly just out of reach of Carmel Armstrong.
It looks like what happened there was instead of trying to go low and away, she tried to loft it just over, and it looks like Carmel came out thinking that it was going to slow down a little bit, but it just kept going, just lofted over, and it looked like she took a couple steps off her line there and just let it float over. That was a sneaky play there, honestly. Really nothing complicated to it. It just kind of lofted up and was very difficult to read.
So really these two halves of play so far here, Sam, being night and day. The Knights with all of the offensive momentum almost during the first half, but unfortunately unable to put any balls in the back of the net, which is ultimately what's most important. But Salem College coming into the second half with an absolute vengeance, really taking matters into their own hands and putting 2 goals now into the back of the net past goalkeeper Carmel Armstrong for the Knights, and they now lead the Knights 2-0.
Yeah, that was definitely a tough one for the Knights. You could feel them still trying to get something, definitely moving the attack up the field. You can see a lot more players up the field here, but that one was kind of unfortunate as the free kick was well taken, but the Knights not really feeling that they will have earned that one. It's like some kickball going on here, a little bit of clearing down the field.
Armstrong playing out to was maybe going to be Ampal, but now Ellie Montez by herself with the back line, trying to play with Ampal. Montez with the beautiful cross, but the Knights able to deal with that in the middle of the box pretty easily. Cyan Smith with the good slide tackle. Palmer with the ball. Jewell looking to switch field, electing to hold on to the ball maybe a little bit longer, playing up the field looking for Barton, but plays it well long and into the back line of Salem College. Palmer now with the ball. It's McCall Jensen in the center of your screen here for the Knights. Palmer with it. Looking to cross over to Allie Rigby, but that ball deflects off of the shoulder of Rigby and into the hands of freshman goalkeeper Hannah Bullock.
Looked like the Knights getting a little bit impatient there. She had an overlap coming across her. She just waited another second. She can lay that off to her left and allow the ball deep into the corner to get a better cross. A little more dangerous, a little easier to control. Not a bad cross in there. Definitely got it to her player, a little bit of contact on it, but maybe a little bit of impatience from the Knights. You can see they really want to get up the field. They really want to get some opportunities here, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes can result in some different play, and the vision can get a little bit too focused. If they keep their eyes open and look around, a little bit of extra communication can help as well. But looks like the Knights really coming back, trying to get something here.
Jewell with the ball now. Smith calling for the run down the sideline. Smith with the speed and almost beats. That is number 6 for the Spirits. Brianna Monroe playing defense, the sophomore out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Smith trying to cross the ball into the box there, but instead rolls right into the hands of Bullock. Ball cleared out by Bullock. Off the head of Winterton there and cleared out of bounds by the Spirits. Throw in for the Knights. Cyan Smith dropping back to take the throw. Looking for Jensen. Rigby battling for it. Now Winterton with the ball. And now it's Ellie Montez in space once again, one-on-one with Ann Powell. And the ball will deflect off of the feet of Powell and out for the 10th corner kick of the game for Salem College.
And Powell did a pretty good job. Keep that in front of her. I think maybe she could have gone for it, but she did a really good job staying disciplined, keeping it in front of her. Unfortunately, goes out for another corner kick, an area where the Knights have struggled, but good job to just keep the play in front of her and not allow the cross in, which could have been more dangerous.
10th corner kick of the game here for Salem College, high and in the air by Dankovic, off of the head of Jewell in the middle of the box, and the shot taken by the defense of Salem College. Dankovic now with another cross in off of the foot of, I believe that was captain defender Sydney Priest. What would have been an absolutely gorgeous goal flies just wide of the right post.
That's
dangerous play.
It's so hard to control your body, try to get up on one foot and use the other one to just laser that in. She did a really good job. Fortunately for the Knights, there was a defender there. It looked like it deflected, couldn't tell who it was off of, but a good job of being in the position where the opening in the net was, resulted in another corner.
Knights deflect the ball out for the 11th corner kick of the game. Knights looked like they got away with a little bit of a shove there by Jensen in the box. No call there from the referee to the benefit of the Knights, and that is Landy battling there near the sideline. She's able to clear that out for a Salem College throw-in.
That is a brilliant slide tackle there. That is so hard to do, and if it goes wrong, you can end up with a card very easily on that. So that was a brilliant slide tackle by Landy there.
Lanier throwing the ball, looking for Husky in the box. And Landy electing just to clear that out a little farther up the field for another Salem College throw-in. Priest with the throw-in for the Spirits. Palmer on the far sideline finds Priest. Priest able to clear it up the field. The Knights now clearing it up the field. Jensen with the ball, crosses back, creates a little bit of space for herself, crosses back once again, trying to find Palmer on the far sideline. Unable to connect as the ball rolls down and into the box. Landy trying to chase it down as it will roll out of bounds for another Knights goal kick.
Entering the game for the Knights, number 10, Melissa Barton.
Checking into the game now for the Knights. Getting some more time is number 10, Clarissa Barton, the midfielder, replacing Alyssa Winterton in the midfield.
Had a really good first half, worked really well with Emma Landy, who is also on the field. We'll see if they can continue what they had in the first half.
And it looks like a bit of a tactical substitution as Barton comes into the game and looks to replace Cyan Smith at the left back position as Smith looks to step into a holding mid position rather. Smith now takes a tumble. Looks like she is hurt. The referee will stop time and the trainer will come onto the field. See if she gets up on of her own strength. And she is able to do so. Trainer will not have to come onto the field, which is good for the Knights, which means Smith does not have to leave the game.
Yeah, it looked like it was just kind of an awkward fall there. A lot of legs, everybody kind of getting tangled up and tumbling over. I'm glad to see she's maybe just the wind knocked out of her a little bit.
Ball played high and into the box once again by Salem College. Brooke Bucas trying to cross the ball into the box, deflected off by the Knights, and the ball roll out of bounds for, you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12th corner kick for Salem College here.
Yeah, the Knights definitely can't continue to give up this many corners, especially as all but one have been in the second half. That's just definitely something that needs to be addressed. You got to get the ball out to the sideline, up the field. You don't want to see them get it across, but definitely need to be addressed.
Off the head of Cora Jewell once again, and that's Priest with the dangerous volley, yet again creating problems for the Knights. And Salem College looking for a deflection call and gets it as they will have their 13th corner kick here of the game.
Looks like bringing out another player here. Knights definitely need to mark up a little bit closer on this one. They've had a few people get loose in the box. Unfortunately, the ball hasn't gone to those players so far, but need to mark up pretty well here. Looks like this ball sails and hits the field goal post and ends up in a harmless goal kick.
Checking back into the game for the Knights in the place of McCall Jensen is forward veteran number 22, Taylor Mercer. Just over 9 minutes remaining here in the second half. The Southern Virginia University Knights women's soccer team find themselves in a 2-goal deficit down from Salem College. The Knights still searching for their first win of the season here at home against Salem College. Salem College 3-1, looking for their 4th win. The ball roll out of bounds for another Knights goal kick, as Salem College has spent the vast majority of the second half here, Sam, in their own offensive third.
Yeah, it looks like the Knights haven't really been able to settle down like they did in the first half. Had really good possession, really worked the ball around. I'm not sure what's changed exactly, but haven't really been able to find each other on the field and connect the way they did for the first 45.
Rigby with the shanked pass a little bit. Mercer now with the ball, fighting for possession, unable to get it. Martha Santos now with the ball. Battling with Kira Tolbert in the middle of the field, drops back. And that is Brooke Bucas battling with Ann Powell there on the sideline for the Knights, as the ball is deflected out of bounds by Bucas for a Knights throw-in.
I think you can see the vision of the Knights is still there, but I think the execution has just gone down a little bit. They're having a harder time getting the pass to the player, finding the space, maybe a little bit of fatigue coming in, not able to get to the same space that they did in the first half. We've seen some substitutions come on, though, and hopefully they can continue to do what they did in the first 45 minutes.
Ball rolls out of bounds for another Knights throw-in. Tolbert with the throw-in, looking for Palmer. Palmer heads it back to Smith. Priest playing it high and up in the air as it is deflected out of bounds off of her head. Cyan Smith with the throw-in. Looking for Auger. Rigby trying to find a good, generous deflection, unable to do so. Jewel batting, trying to get possession, but instead deflected out by Salem College as it falls back to the feet of Armstrong, who clears it immediately up the field. Jewel now with it.
Nice little miscommunication there. You could see all 3 players trying to move up, trying to get that attack, but you can't have 3 players move for the same ball, and it looks like in the end nobody took it. The ball remained exactly where it was. A little more communication from the Knights wouldn't go amiss. They've had a couple errors on the back line with the goalie as well, and in the midfield now you can start to see a little bit ambitious runs, good runs, but the communication's not there. You can see, as just was seen, the ball just kind of stayed where it was.
Ball played high and in the air by Landy, trying to create something. Jewel now with the ball, double teamed, and the ball falls back into the possession of Salem College. You have a fast break, beautiful ball played there by Santos, as it's Ormsby running down the field with Landy. Landy with the beautiful sliding tackle to clear that ball out of bounds. Landy really showing her stuff here in the second half despite the deficit.
She's had some really good slide tackles. You saw earlier in the other corner, she used her right foot, now she's using her left foot. Really, really good slide tackles there. Doing a great job of not making contact with the player, but getting the ball out first. Goes out to the side, not for another corner. That's really, really smart defending there by Landy. Able to use both feet to get some excellent throw-ins, but keep the pressure off of the Knights. Again, not giving up another corner here. Great job to just let it go out for a goal kick.
Schroeder back into the game for the Knights, number 11 midfielder, the junior out of Draper, Utah, and then Dillo back into the game for Salem College, along with number 25, Kimberly Templeton, the senior forward out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, getting her first minutes of the game. Salem College lurking inside of the Knights box once again, and the ball rolls out of bounds for another Knights goal kick. Now entering the last 5 minutes of play here. Salem College up 2-0 on the Southern Virginia University Knights. The Knights looking to put together some offensive momentum or offensive pressure, just like they were doing in the first half, but so far unable to do so here in the second half as Salem College is completely dominated.
Yeah, what's really been hard for the Knights is a lot of their offensive pressure came from just having the ball. Even though it wasn't up in the attacking third sometimes, just keeping control of the ball, not letting the other team have it, really wears down on the other team. Oh, great run. Salem not communicating well, getting a great run in here. Let's see if they can get a cross into the center. Unable to do so, looking to drop back, but staying aggressive on the ball, getting possession back. Like to see that. Oh, and it results in a free kick for the Knights on the corner of the 18. This is a very dangerous opportunity.
Mercer drops back immediately to take this free kick. The referee standing in front of the ball and actually giving it to her a couple yards closer. And we'll see if Mercer looks to cross this in or go directly for goal. Bullock covering the near post with the wall.
What you don't want to see is the cross and the shot. Looks like she's electing to go with a shot, but a little bit high. Looks like it goes off the field goal post again, just over the crossbar. Looks like she was trying to aim for that far post and kind of lofted in like the second goal for Salem, but unable to do so. It just went right over the middle of the goal.
The Knights with their first real potential offensive attack of the second half here with that free kick by Mercer there out just outside of the 18. Sydney Priest, the captain defender for Salem College, taking the goal kick. 3 minutes remaining here in the game. The Knights looking to get at least one goal back. Schroeder battling in the midfield for possession. Auger now with it. Auger playing up the field looking for Rigby, unable to connect, but a beautiful look. And Mercer looking for that upper right 90 and unable to connect once again. Mercer now having come into the game just about 5 to 7 minutes ago and making her presence known for the Knights.
The Knights staying true to form and attacking like crazy in the last 5 minutes of the half. They have been just absolutely crazy aggressive in the last few minutes of every game. They've had more shots just in the last 2 minutes than they did the entire second half. I'm not sure what's gotten into the Knights, but they're definitely not going down without a fight.
Salem College playing the ball down the field. If they can control the ball, they do have numbers, but instead Ann Powell will come out with the ball. And it's Ormsby still maintaining pressure, the high pressure against the Knights back line. The Knights cleared out of bounds. Great job not to give up another corner kick. And Salem will have another throw-in.
With only 2 minutes left, you can definitely see that a lot of time coming off the clock for each thing, each goal kick, free kick, throw in, about 15 seconds off for that.
Knights really putting on the pressures. Rigby, and the foul will go against the Knights as they had really a 2-on-2 there with Rigby and Mercer and two backline defenders for Salem College. Lots of boos and hisses coming from the stadium as we can hear here, Sam, as the fans wanted to see the Knights put in a goal here before the end of the game. 1:28 left, still a possibility, but free kick here for the Spirits. Ball played just outside of the box, deflected off lots of heads, and cleared high and into the air and into the hands of Carmel Armstrong in the goal, who rolls it out immediately for the feet of Clarissa Barton. Pressure put on immediately by Mary Ormsby, who plays off to the sideline and clears it out of bounds, just trying to kill some time, I'm sure.
Yeah, Knights still trying to get the ball up as fast as they can, but Salem obviously trying to slow the game down and take time for every possible thing.
Landy with the throw-in. Plays it up to Rigby.
Knights looking to get one last chance here. If they are going to, they need to get the ball up the field.
Landy plays it, throws it high into the air, deflects off the Knights. Salem comes back up with the ball, and Salem just clears it high up the field. It will roll out of bounds for another Knights goal kick as time continues to just run off the clock. 30 seconds remaining here in the second half. The Knights going to need to put something together here quick just to get at least one goal back. Landy plays it high in the air. Almost finds the feet of Barton Dankovic. Rigby trying to control the ball. 10 seconds remaining here. Jewell hurrying to the sideline, trying to get the quick throw in. Plays it high and up the field, looking for Barton. As time will expire here at the fields at Southern Virginia University, your Southern Virginia Knights women's soccer team falling to the Spirits of Salem College 2-0. Both of those goals scored by Salem College in the second half after a scoreless first.
Pretty good second half finish there, though, by the Knights. You can see they were a little bit absent for about the first 30 minutes as Salem really took control, got just an inordinate amount of corners. There's absolutely no excuse for that. The Knights just let the ball go out way too many times on their own end line. They got to keep control of that. That's what's let them down in the last 2 games. It does result in only 1 goal, which I think is a highlight, really, given that the Salem College ended with 13 corners, 12 of which were in the second half. It's impossible to try to stop that many. That's really, really tough for the Knights, setting themselves up there for a real tough match. But came back strong, got a really good attack there at the end. Saw some really good effort from a couple players. I think Emma Landy in particular did really well, not just in defense, getting some great slide tackles, but moving the ball up with Clarissa Barton on the sideline in the first half. And we saw some really good runs from the Knights there to close out, but unfortunately, too many corners, I think, too many opportunities given to Salem, and they took advantage of it.
Knights fall to 0-4 on the season. Now looking to go away to Potomac State College, tomorrow. Immediately getting back into the game tomorrow at Potomac State College at 6 p.m. Then traveling to Averett University on Saturday to play, and then returning home on Tuesday the 19th next week, exactly 1 week from today, to play at home against Randolph. The Knights still searching for that first win. Really nowhere to go but up, Sam. And the Spirits of Salem College improving to 4-1 on the season and starting off their season well. Please stay tuned here with us at the fields at Southern Virginia University. In about 30 minutes, we will bring to you Knights men's soccer, who are getting ready to take on the Generals of Washington and Lee University, number 9th ranked men's soccer team in the country in Division III NCAA rankings. The Knights will certainly have a heavy task placed upon their shoulders this evening. You won't want to miss it. Please join us here at 7 p.m. for Knights men's soccer. From Jake, Sam Horman, Craig Reese, and the rest of the broadcasting team, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in about 30 minutes for Knights men's soccer.